morning and welcome to the Geelong Cricket Show. Yes, we've got the mighty blue and white on again this week. We'll continue this blue and white theme through until Christmas to continue to remind you that we are Geelong, the greatest team of all. That's in the world of AFL football. Don't know if we can say that about the Geelong cricket team at the present time, but we'll wait and see. But on the local cricket scene, it was hat-tricks and hundreds, kicking off round one for the season 2009-010. And in the world of Premier Cricket, we'll talk about that shortly as I introduce our special guest this morning, the Table of Knowledge. Yes, it's a very good morning to Tim Mitchell. How are you, Tim?
Yeah, very happy to be here again, Rollo. Thanks for that. And good morning to all the viewers out there. As you said, a fantastic way to kick it off last weekend. Personally, it wasn't the best start. The three Barwon Head sides went down, but very happy to see all the sides up and about in the BPCA. Unfortunately, it wasn't the best start for the Geelong Cricket Club, as you said, but hopefully they'll bounce back against Frankston Peninsula up there today.
And our special guest this morning, we've known him from Newcomen District. We've known him as a number of different names, but now he's up at Bellpost Hill. Beg your pardon, Limpy Lance. Always get him mixed up. He's up at Dragons, yes, the man with the gloves behind the stumps. Simon Anderson. Welcome, Simon.
No, right. Yeah.
How you fitting? I love that new outfit, mate.
Yeah, I like
it's
the
very
colours.
becoming.
It suits you blue and red, I think, Simon.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Dressed by the Bellpost Hill Cricket Club. You started the season with a win last week.
Yeah, we did actually. It was a good win.
Simon will be talking to us shortly as we look at the world of Premier Cricket. Geelong Cricket Club last Saturday went down to Fitzroy Doncaster. Wasn't a good starting performance, and congratulations to Lloyd Mash, who smashed out 100 runs for Fitzroy Doncaster in a very important innings as far as his club was concerned. Clinton Peake with 99, LBW for 99. Always remember that. Jason Backer made 3 99s for Geelong Cricket Club, and he was out plumb. And Matthew Harrison, Simon, in the blood, a very good comeback for Matthew. Welcome back to Geelong, Moody, 75.
Yeah, definitely. It was good to see him back home again, and hopefully he does well for the rest of the season.
Today, Frankston Peninsula, down at Frankston Peninsula. Nick Jewell leading the Frankston Peninsula side, and they had a very good first-up win against North Melbourne. Tim Mitchell. It looks as if Geelong have really got their backs against the wall, given that their bowling attack just doesn't appear to have the depth.
Yeah, they've got another big test up there at Frankston today. The Frankston Peninsula, one of the sides that were tipped to really be up there and making waves in the Premier Cricket this season. And obviously Nick Jewell's the man that signed on as their captain coach this season. Rollo started the season in fine form with the bat as well. Got himself up near about a 50 last week in their big win for the Heat. So obviously they've started pretty well, Frankston. Contrasting form lines for the two sides coming in. Geelong starting with a loss, Frankston starting with a win, so Geelong will need to turn that around. There was more good news for Frankston in terms of their bowlers contributing last weekend with their two leading wicket takers from last year, James Miller and Darren Groves, both got 3 wickets as well. So the Cats definitely up with their backs against it, but Damien Shanahan will have his side steeled for a big game up there today, Rollo, and hopefully the Cats can get a win.
It was Richmond, Frankston Peninsula, Ringwood and Northcote that picked up 5 points last week, and extra bonus points for those top sides, along with Melbourne University, Fitzroy Doncaster, Carlton and St Kilda picking up 4 points. Premier Cricket, go Geelong down at Frankston Peninsula. Turning our attention to the world of Bellarine Peninsula Cricket Association, one has to say the upset of the round, the surprise of the opening round of the season, was the Drysdale Hawks upsetting the reigning premiers, Barwon Heads. Tim Mitchell, a little bit disappointing?
Yeah, it was disappointing for the Barwon Heads, boys. There was a few new faces from the Premiership side last year. Tyler Capon was one of those guys, actually bowled pretty well, only a young kid that's come into the side and did pretty well. So there's some good signs there for Barwon Heads. It's obviously a one-day game. Things can go either way, and they just turned out to go Drysdale's way on the weekend. I spoke to Lee Allen a little bit early this week about Drysdale's performance, and he said he was very happy with the resolve that his side showed. Normally at Drysdale, when they lose a few wickets in the middle order, they just crumble and fell away from there, but he's got that resolve happening up at Drysdale, and he's put a few things in place, obviously coming in as coach this season, Lee, so a fantastic way for Drysdale to start. They're tipped as one of the big improvers, and that's a really good win to set them on the way for our season 2009-2010.
BPCA first round winners Colindina sit at the top of the ladder. Anglesea, the bouncing Kangaroos from Drysdale, Jan Jack, Port Arlington and Wellington. This week Port Wellington have the bye, but the match of the round undoubtedly the 2 undefeated sides after round 1. Jan Jack playing Colindina at Jan Jack Park should be a real burster.
It certainly is going to be one for watch. Jan Juck got up last week on the final ball of the day against Queenscliff, so a really tight one down there at Queenscliff. But to come away with the points is a really good result to start the season for Jan Juck, and they'll take some momentum in today. But Collindina never looked like losing last weekend against Newcombe, did it very easily against them. And Luke Weitenheimer, I hope I've got that name right, he bowled fantastically with the new ball for Collindina as well. So some really good signs to start the season for the Cobras. Brendan Hall stepped up as coach, and he would have been extremely happy with what he saw from his side, easily sweeping away Newcombe last week. But the real test for them, as you say, Rollo, comes on the road this week against Jan Juck. If they can get the points there over the next couple of weekends' action in the BPCA, then look, Collindina will be one of the sides heavily favoured after the first couple of rounds to do something big towards the end of the season.
Anglesey make the trip into Bowen Heads to look for 2 wins from 2 rounds. Can they do it?
I think they can. The Bowen Heads side's going to have 3 or 4 out again from last week. There's a few unavailabilities. Unfortunately, it's wedding season about this time of year, so a few players are going to be missing out. Josh Dunn, who made a century in the B grade, is one of those players that will be missing, that probably would have stepped up to play A-grade cricket, almost undoubtedly would have stepped up to play A-grade cricket this week after the way he batted in the B grade. So Anglesey takes some confidence from their big win over Barrable last weekend. Obviously, Pete Bracken coming back from Deans Marsh as coach, bowled fantastically, got 4 for 17 last weekend, and from all reports was swinging them as far as bananas, Rollo. They were just swinging that much, almost starting off the pitch and coming back, and he finished with the 4 wickets for Anglesey. So a young Anglesey side will go to Bowen Heads this weekend with some confidence, and who knows, they might pick up a surprise win over the next couple of weekends.
Port Arlington make their first appearance on the field, having a bye in round 1 as they take on Newcombe, the Newcombe Bulls.
Yeah, and they'll be favoured to start the season with a win, Port Arlington. Newcombe were fairly disappointing last week, and the one positive for them was that the young off-spinner Matt Jones that we spoke about last week here on the show, Rollo, was fantastic. He picked up 4 for 14, so a great way to start the season for young Jonesy there. 8 overs, 4 for 14. It's a very good haul against a quality side like Collindina. They'll need a few more of the young kids to step up this weekend, but also the experienced guys, Newcombe, if they are to be close against a Port Arlington side that looks very similar to last year. The only out at the moment is Liam Jackson, who's had foot surgery after playing the footy year with St Joseph's. He has had a bit of a clean out there, so he'll be back after Christmas. But apart from that, the Port Arlington side looking fairly settled for the coming season.
And Ocean Grove entertained Drysdale, the big giant killers, in round 1.
Yeah, it's going to be Ocean Grove really needing to turn it around after the way they performed last weekend against Wellington. They were extremely disappointing, but credit to the Wallabies. They came out with a real purpose, and Darren Cameron played fantastically. Obviously, the coach there at Wellington, but Drysdale, I think they'll take plenty of confidence from the way they performed against Bowen Heads. They'll be favoured to win this one again, and I'd be expecting the result to go that way over the next couple of weekends' action, Rollo.
And the final match, the 2 sides that suffered defeat in the opening round, Barrable and Queenscliff. Who'll be first to break the winning streak?
What's that? The Bulls down this over the next couple of weekends' action there, and Barrable, with having played together for the first time, a few of those players, obviously they brought in 5 or 6, a fair influx of players over the off-season for Barrable, so it would have served them well to actually play together. They were disappointing last weekend against Anglesey, so they need to bounce back, but then again, Queenscliff are a quality side, and they showed that pushing Jan Juck all the way, so I'd be expecting a win for Queenscliff this weekend, but wouldn't surprise too if Barrable got the points, because I think they've got the nucleus of a pretty good side as well.
We'll be back after this, talking with Simon Anderson from Belfast Hill.
No more far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark. Down at Gardenia.